Hi, welcome to Dance Brain, where we talk about the beauty of partner dancing, and today I'm with Meredith. Hello, Meredith.
Hi, Jason.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, Meredith, tell us about how you started your partner dance journey.
So, I had in fits and starts in elementary school, the school classes on how to swing dance, and you were with kids and stuff like that. But my journey didn't really start until my aunt came back from traveling overseas, and she came back and said, I want to learn Spanish and I want to learn how to salsa dance. And I said, I'll learn how to salsa dance with you. And so we took up lessons at a studio in LA, and I was 14 at the time. The studio had to have me sign a waiver because I was dancing in an adult class. And so I always had to be there with supervision for the first couple years of my training. But I was a salsa studio brat in the early 2000s. And worked my way up and did salsa performance teams and did my first weekender, I think, when I was 16 in Palm Springs, and it was a combined salsa and West Coast swing weekender. And I was going for the salsa portion to support my instructor and to be with my team and to learn a lot and as if you are a dancer, weekenders are a thing with workshops and out-of-town instructors and performances and competitions. So I experienced my first one of those, but I also experienced my first West Coast swing dance. And this had to have been a couple of years into my dance journey when I was at the level 3 advanced class at the studio, and the music really resonated with me. And so I expanded my dance horizons from there. I got to college, I did some ballroom, I transferred to a school in Indiana where there wasn't a lot of Latin dancing, and found a studio outside of campus and trained in West Coast swing and picked up Argentine tango and just gathered and added dances to my repertoire over the course of the last 22 years. And then I've been in the fusion scene in Los Angeles since 2015. I've been in the micro scene in Los Angeles since 2019.
Wow.
And it's the hobby I've had for most of my life. And it's the hobby I will hopefully have for the rest of my life.
Wow. That's amazing. You've tasted and tried lots of different dance styles.
Yeah.
Take us back to the studio ballroom experience. What was that like? What was the environment like?
So, studio classes and being a studio person, one of the things is there are some dances that are historical codified dances with specific music and with specific rhythms and with a canon of moves. And oftentimes those dances are broken up into beginner, intermediate, advanced, competitive levels, various levels in which to train. And for those that are ambitious and like the experience of dancing and aren't necessarily there to learn it for an event or learn it for a person or to go out dancing with someone specific, people who are just taking it up as a hobby, it was really a rewarding experience. It was maybe 8 to 16 people every week in a room, taking classes, building off of the skills from the prior week, and then eventually matriculating into, once you've mastered that set of skills, matriculating into a more advanced class and a more advanced class and a more advanced class. And one of the benefits of sequential lessons like that is sometimes you'll go in with a cohort of dancers who are beginners when you're a beginner. So there were people who were in my class when I was in my class, and then that creates a cohort of people to go social dancing with where you're comfortable, you already know how the other person dances, you don't have to go and practice socially alone. It was difficult for me at the time, given that I was an outlier studying salsa as a high school student, where I could not actually get into most of the social salsa venues for 4 to 7 years after I started dancing. So I didn't get the benefit of doing a lot of socials at bars and live music nights until well into grad school, but I did get to go to studio socials and more dance-specific things, and I think that probably sent me on a more dancerly path because I was in environments with people who were there to dance and there to learn.
Yeah. The studio environment is almost like college or high school.
Yeah.
Where you level up, you have a camaraderie of people who are there to do what you're doing, and you can grow and become better along with other people.
Yeah, and so it's really comforting, and if you really stick with it, you'll see people come, you'll see people go, you'll see people test into higher levels or move from different studios. I followed my instructor to a bunch of different venues and kind of took his path, and he took his instructor's path, and so you kind of learn from different schools of thought and can explore different approaches to how to dance. But I found the studio environment really rewarding as someone who was ambitious and really interested in doing the skill well.
Yeah, to advance to the next level, like level 2 or level 3, do you have to have a certain requirement? Are you tested?
Sort of. So studios build curriculums like a syllabus, and in theory, when you get to the end, you should be able to complete the syllabus easily. And instructors, especially if you're at a specific studio, the instructors in the studios know and can kind of vibe out the level you're at and whether you should stay and do another round of the same level you're in or matriculate upwards. So it's kind of at the discretion of the studio and the instructors at the studio as to when and how you matriculate. Yeah, the other thing I really like about studio environments is it's learning technique, but it's also learning patterns, and it's also learning drills. So it often starts with warm-ups and then moves into some sort of pattern, or if you're at the very beginning, like a basic and a rhythm. And it's an interesting way to teach dance, and it's, I think, a good way for beginners because at the beginning, there's a lot of rote memorization. There's a lot of just getting, like learning a language, like getting the words into your body and then building the words into sentences and then rearranging the words into different sentences. And I honestly think it's really good practice to start in an environment like that. I think that in some dances, there are traps where that is all it gets to be.
Yeah.
And in other dances, there is more about communicating lead and follow, more about technique, more broadly applicable skills that as a fusion dancer now, I really appreciate. But as a beginner, it's nice to just be able to do the steps.
Yeah, it's that repetition you get where you're getting a deep dive into a specific dance.
Yeah.
And maybe you're only doing turns for six weeks.
Right.
And for 1 hour every week, this is all you're doing is turns.
Yeah.
And it may become boring, but at the same time, you'll get really good at turns eventually.
Yeah. Or like you'll be able to say, okay, I can do a basic. And then the next week, I can do a basic and a crossbody lead. And then the week after that, I can do a basic and a crossbody lead and a right turn. And then I can do a basic and a crossbody lead and a right turn, and then the lead leads themselves in a turn. Or I can do a basic and a crossbody lead and lead a right turn, and then the lead leads a right turn, and then I can open the frame, do some shines, come back to frame, and then do it all over again, or do it in a different order. And so it sort of stacks. And then like learning how to pair that with music and it really is like a sequential skill stack. Yeah.
And then eventually you go to the socials at the studio where you can show your stuff, show what you can do. And then you mentioned salsa. Did you dance at clubs as well?
I was too young. I was too young, but in high school, I started a salsa club at my high school. My faculty advisor was also my dance partner for one of the formation salsa teams I was on. So we already knew how to dance together. And for 2 years in high school, my last 2 years, I taught probably about a dozen other high school students. how to dance salsa. And then I really had to find the venues that would let me in. So as far as dance socials, I did a lot of like dance downtown and outdoor socials that weren't in a bar environment where I would have to be 21. Or I'd go to other studios socials to experience other dancers. And I'd go to, I'd do a lot of that when I was starting out. But if I was starting out today with a new dance, I would absolutely be going to socials and events like that. Probably still ones where the primary objective is dance rather than there is music and dancers go there. I think I still prefer the dancers go there to dance environments, but there are both.
Yeah, there are different environments of social dance. There's the studio social where it's a event where the classes are being held and then parties are being thrown, probably on a Saturday night or a Friday night, where the people from the studio generally come. Anybody can come, but generally.
And that's where you might dance with other students who are a higher or lower level than you, or try another dance that the studio teaches. The studio I grew up going to was at that time teaching a lot of salsa and a lot of Argentine tango. But yeah, the studio socials were great, and there are the holiday parties where the instructors perform. I found them fun.
Yeah, it's like a college graduation. Where it's like everyone's celebrating just the joy of the dance at the school that the dance is being taught at.
And it's nice to dance and not think about doing what you learned in class precisely as you learned it in class. That level up skill, I think, is the first time dancers experience the joy of it, is when it's not, okay, recreate this exactly as it was taught, but use your own discretion to build a dance out of the things you know.
And then beyond the studio environment, you can dance, you can create your own dance event anywhere. You can dance in a park like this, you can have a club, you can dance at bars or dance clubs themselves. There
are social occasions to dance. Like I go to weddings and parties where there are DJs, and those dance skills, I can translate them and scale them back to individual dancing, and there are plenty of places that offer partner dance. In the summers, oftentimes there will be live music in Los Angeles, which is open to partner dancing as well, and plenty of opportunities to use it as a vehicle for a social life.
And then there's organizers who hire, who rent studio space from a studio, who have their own event, whether it's weekly, monthly, every year, and they're just independent organizers just organizing events, and you can search online for those as well.
And then there is one more element that I haven't ventured into with dance, but it's there if you want it, which is competition.
Ah, yes.
I've gotten as far as performance, but not competition.
Is there a reason?
I am not particularly competitive.
Okay.
And competition is expensive. Everything else you can do for the price of a class or a cover charge at a door. But competition gets a lot more pricey because suddenly you're traveling and getting hotel rooms and getting tickets to weekenders and paying entry fees, and that is a financial commitment to dance that some people actively pursue and really love. Historically, it has not been for me.
Yeah. Competitions are generally happening at festivals where you travel or go to a hotel where you have to pay these additional fees. And it's a love for some people, but some people don't necessarily enjoy that aspect of dancing. Or some people do it for a year or so and say, not for me.
Right.
And
it's a great way to really level up skills fast, but it's also very expensive. And there's a lot of putting your heart out on the line in competition as well, because it's actively putting yourself out there specifically for the purpose of being judged on your dance.
Yeah.
So it has not historically been for me, but also as a dancer, I am much more of a conversationalist, where I really like the lead and follow elements of dancing, and that kind of conversation and nuance can sometimes get lost in performance and in competition.
Yeah, because in performance and competition, it's more of a show.
It is much more of a show.
So you want to show off yourself, but also your partner in ways that may feel performative, because it is.
Because it is.
Because you want to show that you are better than the couple next to you, so you want to stand out.
Yeah, but dance certainly has that element. It is a performing art. There is an element of performance to it. But partner dance, I think, is really unique because I would say at its best, it is much less performative than a lot of other kinds of dances, especially socially.
Yeah, social dance hopefully is about the partnership, not necessarily about showing the other people around you who you're not dancing with how good you are.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes people within the partnership do like to show off, and sometimes it's fun, and sometimes I love it, and sometimes I find it obnoxious, if I'm being quite honest. But that also depends on who you're dancing with and who you're talking to, and whether you're operating at the same level or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a partner if you're a performer and like to show off, and your partner also likes to show off,
that's a really fun time.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah, it's a really fun time.
Could you tell us about your performance self?
Yeah, I did 2 salsa formation teams my last 2 years of high school in with 2 different teams in 2 different occasions. One was through my dance studio, where the goal was to perform at the holiday party. So we had basically the whole year to learn a routine and costumes, hair, makeup, all that sort of stuff. And I remember that day so vividly because it came time for the performance and I was sick. I had a fever. This routine involved an aerial move. It was complicated. I had been working all year for it. I took so much medicine. My dad, I dragged myself out to this performance. This was pre-COVID, so I'm not entirely sure I'd make that choice now, but then I did. Basically, got in hair and makeup, did the routine, and went home. But it was beautiful and terrifying. It was my first aerial move. It was, formation teams are also different and tricky because it's not just dancing within the partnership. It's also understanding the spatial relationship between the partnership you're in and every other couple dancing in the formation. It's also a lot trickier because there is not just movement within the partnership, but movement of the partners across the stage. And at the time I was doing this, and at the age I was, it was a really fun time. I don't think I was quite as creative or expressive as I have grown into being, but at the time I really liked it. And then my second year performing, where did we perform that? I think we were performing at a salsa club, at a bar by the beach. I don't even remember how it was so long ago. I don't even remember how 17-year-old me was allowed to do this. But I was, and that was 3 couples. It was much less pomp and circumstance. But it was still a pretty good time. And in college, I attempted to do dance sport ballroom for a little bit as well, which is, they do some formation and some competition, but that was not for me. If you're curious about performing teams, many studios have them. Many teams exist that go do the convention and festival circuit. It is an avenue, especially if you like performative dance. If you have a dance background, that also helps. I found that the dancers who had more technical solo backgrounds in their youth, like who took tap and jazz and modern and really had a good understanding of like the tiny details of being performative, like pointed toes all the time when you're creating lines. These are things in social dancing that aren't always top of mind, but in performance, it is a lot more, there's a lot more control being asked of the dancer to account for every tiny placement and angle of everything for a whole song. So if you do enjoy that kind of precision dancing, it is also a really fun time.
Yeah.
If you do not enjoy that amount of precision in your dancing, I would not recommend. But some people do, and at a point in my life, I really did.
And when you join a performance team, you're finding a community.
Yeah.
And you're battle tested. You are going through the ups and downs of the pressures of performing, the relationships dynamic, the egos potentially.
Yeah.
But eventually, after you finish the performance, you're like, oh, we did this thing and it was so hard and we succeeded. And then you can say, oh, we're friends for life.
Yeah.
'Cause we went through this war together.
Yeah, I still am in touch with my formation partner from my senior year who co-ran the Salsa Club, who was faculty at my high school. We are still friends. We are still in touch. Every couple of years we run into each other dancing, and it's a really, it feels familiar. Like, it feels familiar and nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same with partner dancing, but kind of in a long form game where if you partner dance with somebody for a while in a specific dance, you have the same battle scars, right?
Yeah.
In theory, you've taken classes, you've gone to different socials all around your area, you see them maybe very frequently or infrequently, but you're familiar with them and you have this kind of physical connection, yes, but just the scars of going through the same thing.
Yeah, and also the acknowledgement. So like dance friendships are a different flavor of friendship, because I have friends at dance events who I really enjoy dancing with, I really enjoy talking to. You could ask me what they do for a living and I may not know. You could ask me like personal details about them and I wouldn't know, but I could tell you if they're dancing like they're stressed out.
Yeah.
I could tell you if their mind is elsewhere. I could understand how they like to lead, how they like to follow. It's a different kind of understanding of a person, understanding a person as a body in motion rather than the cerebral kind of friendships that we often get by... You may not know the facts about somebody, but you know their physical state, or whether they're somebody who is always stressed out, or someone who's very experimental and goofy. Right.
So it's the attributes of somebody that you kind of know.
Yes, which is really different than getting to know someone through a series of verbal conversations, where you might know what they like or where they're from or about their family, but it may be a harder or more difficult emotional read. Whereas like I come into dance and I have dance friends and they know if what I need is just to like have a really high energy dance because I'm coming in with some momentum in my energy already, or if they're like, oh, you really just need to like get out of the work brain and like be in your body for a little bit, and that may feel or look different. Yeah,
you really know the non-verbal cues of somebody.
The non-facts.
Yes.
The like states of being.
Which is a kind of superpower.
Yeah. And it's really comforting. Because I can have had a terrible day and go out dancing and not have to talk about it and still feel relief and comfort and better at the end of that experience. and
Yeah.
not have to talk about whatever nonsense was going on in my life.
Yeah, you can if you want to.
You can if you want to.
But you don't need to.
Yeah.
That pressure isn't necessarily there.
Yeah.
Because there's this other activity that everyone is there to do
Yeah.
that supersedes the, hey, how's the weather today? Let's talk
Right.
about the weather.
Yeah.
Let's really talk about the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a relief sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very few environments have that, where especially when there's a bunch of strangers, where it's all facts.
Yeah, and very few hobbies have that, because even if you're in like a bowling league or pickleball or like, I don't know, have a poker game, it's a different kind of relating to people, because you're not like face to face, like listening to each
Yeah.
other and like talking to each other in that way. It's a very different kind of experience and kind of relating to people.
Yeah. And then you add physical touch to that.
Yeah.
It's another level of communication.
Yeah. And it's one of those ways of communicating where, like, there are some people I like to talk to and there are some people I like to dance with, because we speak the same language. And in dance also, there are some people I like to dance with and some people I don't like to dance with because we don't speak the same language. Like, I have a body that can be linear but likes to be circular and curved. And there are some dancers who are very linear and don't like to be circular and curved. Or like, there are folks who hear different rhythms than I hear, or hear different emphasis than I hear. And I'm a silly dancer and I like to dance lyrically. And some people, I learned, some people when they listen to music with words cannot hear the actual words. They hear the voice as an instrument. So they hear the notes and like the melody or the rhythm of the words, but
Not the,
their brains aren't like hearing the
Yeah.
lyrics and then comprehending those words. And so even there are different ways to hear music. Yeah.
You meet people who have different sensitivity, different intentions as well.
Yeah.
But also you can stretch and challenge your sensitivities too, if you want to,
If you want to. Yeah.
at your own pace as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And it's also a place that you can just observe too. You don't have to dance all the time, and you can learn by watching.
Yeah.
It's not always you have to dance every single song to feel like you're getting the most out of the dance.
And most dancers don't dance every single song. That's exhausting. Especially if you're dancing a dance that is fast.
Yeah.
Many dancers will dance 1 or 2 or 3 songs and then take a break. And one of the things about dance socials is it is both dance and social.
Yes.
So some people dance every single song, and there
Yeah.
are some nights where I do dance every single song and say almost nothing to anybody, where I'm just like, hey, good to see you, want to dance? And that is the extent of the verbal conversation. And then there are some nights where maybe the music isn't in my body, or maybe I'm feeling more chatty and I can just go and take a seat and talk to somebody at the edge of the dance floor.
Yeah. Let's dive into that for a second. Social
Okay.
dance.
Social dance, yeah.
So there's some people who are there to do both.
Yeah,
Some people are there just to dance, and that's all they want to do.
yeah,
They don't want to say anything.
yeah.
And there are some people who don't want to dance, and or maybe can't even dance
Yeah.
very well, and they just want to socialize.
Yeah.
And every single motivation is valid. On the spectrum of why you're there,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, I would encourage, if you are curious about dance, being a spectator is a great way to start. And if someone asks you to dance, it's perfectly fine to say no. So you can go and be an observer in a kind and respectful sort of way. And I've met plenty of people who are observers who will go to a dance social, and oftentimes there's a lesson or some sort of warm-up at the beginning of a dance social, who will go and they'll take the lesson, and then they'll sit and they'll watch and they'll observe and they'll kind of vibe out, is this for them? And maybe ask someone to dance who was in the lesson with them, but mostly not dance. And there's no wrong way to get started with dance. That's just as good of an entry point as anybody has.
Yeah, you go to that beginner class. If you don't know anything, you get to know socially the other people in the class. And then during the social, you'll probably have the most confidence dancing with the people who you already know.
Yeah.
And you can practice your dance there.
Yeah, and practice your dance with people who you've already had some sort of formal experience meeting and doing a drill with, or learning a couple of 8 counts with. Yeah.
So when you take the class and you meet people your same level, you're working on being a little bit more social, which helps you eventually get to dancing better.
Yes.
It'll give you more confidence.
Inevitably, you have to be brave.
Yes.
That is an inevitability. Inevitably, you will have to be brave and ask someone you don't know and have never danced with before to dance.
And the class helps alleviate some of that pressure where...
The other thing that happens in classes is often there's rotation. So you will dance with, depending on the modality you pick, every follow in that class, or every lead in that class, or if you're in a modality that teaches both lead and follow at the same time, every lead and or every follow in that class. So part of the benefit of taking the class at the beginning or taking sequential classes through a studio is getting to know how to dance with a bunch of people, because while there are some people who will go out social dancing and only dance with their dance partner that they came with, most people don't do that. Most people go and will dance with more than one person at an event. And I would say that that mentality and knowing that that's part of the deal helps knowing going in. Because there are many right ways to get into dance, but the best way to stay is to understand the culture of it and be on board with that part. I know a lot of people who've gotten into dance because they're getting married to someone or to impress the person they're dating. And they only want to dance with the person that they're coming with. And if that person is already a social dancer, the expectation on that side is, I will dance with a bunch of people. And that dynamic does create some pressure. So it's important to know that that is part of the social dance community going in, is dancing with a bunch of people.
And like Meredith mentioned, one step in that journey eventually is you got to be brave.
You got to be brave. At some point, you got to be brave.
And then eventually, it'll become a little easier to ask a stranger to dance. Or try a new dance you've never learned. And being brave is easy.
It definitely gets a lot easier. And there are some like gendered issues to being brave. I grew up learning mostly follow. Now, in the last maybe, I guess I learned how to lead salsa once I had exhausted the lessons as a beginner salsa dancer in studio. I still was too young to dance anywhere of note, and so I took up leading as well. And just built out my repertoire in salsa, and now I lead a couple of other dances as well. But that helps me be brave, because more often than not, it's leads asking follows to dance. So if you're learning as a follow, more often than not in culture, leads ask follows to dance. However, there's no reason why follows can't ask leads to dance. And one of the things that I'm still doing in our dance community is empowering some very great follows to just ask the leads they want to dance with to dance. And it has nothing to do with skill or ability. It has to do with having that moment of being brave.
Ah, interesting. So that's happening.
That is happening in our communities. There are some dancers where I'm just like, yeah, just go ask them to dance. Like, you're a great follow. Just go ask that person to dance.
Do you think it's still happening because they're used to being asked so much that they'll just wait?
I think it's still happening because it's really nerve-wracking to do. You have to understand that someone might say no. And if you have the kind of brain that's like, are they saying no because I'm bad at this? Are they saying no because they don't like me? Are they saying no because this or that or this or that or this or that, and go on a spiral? Sometimes it's hard to open yourself up to even opening that door. But sometimes people just say no because they're committed to dancing a song with someone else. Sometimes they say no because they're taking a break. Sometimes they say no because they actually don't want to dance with you, but that may have nothing to do with your skill and everything to do with their comfort or your compatibility as dancers together or any number of reasons. So I think, yeah, part of it is like leftover gendered stereotypes, but I think part of it is also, it's just hard to be that brave.
Yeah. Eventually, if you're a leader or follow, you'll have to be brave.
Eventually, you'll have to be brave.
And learning how to be brave isn't a bad thing.
No, and it'll level up dancing. Being brave will help you level up dancing because I remember some of my early moments of bravery when I was new to West Coast swing and I was at a weekender and I saw people, because oftentimes you can watch the competitions, and I saw people competing and I was like, I want to dance with that person. Did I know them? No, not at all. Did we go to the same studio? No, not at all. It was simply, I saw them compete. I said, that looks like fun. I'm going to go put on my grown-up pants and ask them to dance.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying, but worth it, because one of the best ways to improve is to dance with people who are more advanced dancers than you are.
And people who you're not familiar with.
And people who you're not familiar with, yeah. And it was hard, but I guess I kind of learned a lot of that really early in my career as a teenager. So now that I'm in my late 30s, I've put in the reps around being brave. And now it doesn't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meredith now is the bravest dancer out there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's hubris or not, but I'm definitely brave when it comes to asking people to dance. I'm still not necessarily the bravest when it comes to absolute movement. Like, there are dancers in our community who are perfectly comfortable with both of their feet off the floor. Often. There are other dancers who take more physical risks, but I am very socially brave. And I think it has paid off. Yeah.
So what are your dance goals now, as you've already shown you're the most bravest person on the floor?
I don't even know that that's true. I'm no longer shy about asking people to dance, and I'm also no longer shy about saying no. So my dance goals now.
You've danced many dances. You
Yes.
live in Los Angeles, where there's many different dance
more.
styles.
Yeah, there are many more to learn, yeah. What do I want?
Well, I guess let's put it this way. What makes you go dancing right now?
It connects me to the version of myself where I often feel most myself. It is one of my most creative outlets, and I like that expression. It's really just an emotionally and physically satisfying experience, because I dance a lot of dances where the frame is like a hug. And I think I do it as a tie to my childhood self. I do it as an emotional regulation tool. I do it to stay physically active. I dance for a lot of reasons.
It's a long list.
It's a long list. It's the single greatest hobby you could have for your physical and mental and emotional well-being for the rest of your life. It is about as effective against depression as a lot of other interventions. It's genuinely a great hobby. And what are my dance goals? I have resisted being any degree of reliable in any of the communities that I'm in. I don't dance organize. I don't volunteer. I don't even RSVP until like the day of an event. So, here's where I still have more room to be brave. I DJ sometimes, and that to me feels more vulnerable than asking someone to dance.
Why?
Because it's music that I love. It's music that I love dancing to. It's music that's emotionally resonant with me. It's music that I'm putting out on a limb that other people are going to enjoy as well. And there's a lot of immediate feedback as to whether people agree with me or not, because you can see when you put a song on and everyone gets up off their seats and goes to dance, you're like, yeah, that's a banger. Everyone likes this, like, great. And then there are songs that I'll put on and I'm like, people get off the floor for the song. And I'm like, oh, I'm hearing something and they're feeling something in this song that other people are not hearing or feeling. And so I don't know, it feels vulnerable, but I want to get in more reps DJing so that I'm less sensitive to that kind of feedback about my music, and also so that I am less entrenched in my own taste. Because I think when I DJ, I'm also more open to other people's taste in music as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'd like to DJ more. And I want to be a better leader when it comes to weight sharing. And I keep saying eventually maybe I'll try competitive West Coast swing. Maybe.
You got time.
I still have time for that. I'd like to go to more weekenders, if I'm being honest. I have this joke in my life that there are some dancers who dance a couple of things and will travel for anything, and I will dance anything as long as I don't have to travel. So I think I would like to challenge myself to travel a little bit more for dance.
Yeah. A lot of goals there.
A lot of goals, yeah.
Let's talk about DJing for a moment. So DJ basically is you're the person in charge of playing music for the event. There may be one, there may be two or three.
Yeah.
And essentially you're dancing with everybody. You're choosing and guiding where that dance journey will go from a music standpoint. And there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Because everyone is depending on you for their good time.
Yeah.
And everyone has different sensitivities, different music tastes, and different music ambitions that hopefully you can satisfy enough people to say that was a great night.
Yeah.
And that is terrifying sometimes when you see the immediate feedback of, oh, a song isn't necessarily working. Why is that? I thought it'd be great. That's why it's in my set.
Yeah.
But also, there's a notion of just because people are dancing to a song doesn't mean they necessarily love it as well.
Right.
And on the flip side, just because they're not dancing to a song, it doesn't mean they don't like the song.
Yeah.
So, and like we mentioned before, it is a social dance event. So maybe they just want to talk. Maybe they're tired.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want to dance at that moment, but the song is a banger.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
But it's hard to not take things like that personally when people aren't dancing to a song you think is amazing.
Yeah. Or a song that, like, I dance really well to, someone else may not feel embodied with. And I think that forces also a little bit more empathy to be like, my experience is not the universal experience. Yeah.
So DJing is another avenue in your social dance journey where if you develop and curate and collect enough music for that specific dance style, you can hopefully share your favorites to the rest of the community.
Yeah.
And hopefully it turns out well.
Yeah. And I had a set a couple months ago, and the last song in my set, I was like, most people aren't going to know what this is. 3 people in this room, I don't know which 3 people, but there are probably about 3 people in this room who will just die that I've played it, just be over the moon enthusiastic, and everybody else is probably not going to know this, but this isn't for everyone else. It's perfectly danceable if you don't know where it's from. And I was right, and it was so gratifying because I was like, I made those 3 dancers nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the best DJs play songs most people don't know, but it's amazing to dance to. It's a discovery for most people. Because if you play songs that everyone knows is great, that's fine. It's good. It's serviceable. But if everyone can play and pick that song, what makes your set special? What makes your curation different than anybody else? And finding those diamonds in the roughs are hard. But when they succeed, it's very satisfying.
Yeah, and it forces a level of openness to music also. Like Shazam is my most used app on my watch because I now have an ear listening for, is this good? Is this danceable? And it keeps me, I think, a little bit more open to the world.
Yeah, so if you want to be a DJ, collect music, be open, think about the future. Oh, this could be great to dance to.
Yeah.
I want to keep this one.
Yeah.
And also study music just generally. Study music of all genres. It'll help you be exposed to music you're not used to and challenge what you think could be good for your dance style.
Yeah, and if you start with one dance style, the other advice I have for beginner dancers is once you start to feel comfortable in your style, cross-train, add another style, add another style.
You think you're done with dance? No.
You're never.
Dance something else.
Dance something else. There's always more to learn, and there's more to learn from other dances. And I think the more you can have an understanding of how your body can move and what options are out there, the more you can figure out what you like out of the options of the possibilities, rather than get really good at like muscle memory of one. I think having the freedom of choice of cross-training other dances is a really powerful and liberating thing as a dancer. Unless you're a professional dancer or aspiring to be a professional dancer, in which case, no, just get really, really good at the thing you hope to be hired to do.
Yeah. You could be a specialist or a Renaissance person.
Yeah. I am a generalist. I am a generalist, yeah. I dance probably a dozen dances, and I dance some of them very well, and others good enough to follow. Yeah.
And when you dance a lot of dances, it just exposes you to dances. It exposes you to different types of movement that you may have thought, oh, I didn't think I would like moving this way, but I dig it now.
Yeah.
And everyone has different sensitivities, motivation, physical aspirations at different periods in their lives. And maybe when you are older, you'll gravitate toward a different style of dance.
Yeah, when I was young and had a lot of energy, salsa was a great dance for me. It is athletic. That is an athletic dance. As I got older, I gravitated towards dances where I didn't have to wear heels as often. I gravitated towards dances that are slower. I picked up like blues, which I really enjoy. So it also depends on like kind of what your body wants out of dance. Many people treat it like a sport and like the athletic fast ones. And I've gone in and out of liking those too.
Yeah. Some people want to sweat.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Lindy hoppers, that's exercise. Salsa dancers, also exercise.
Some people want to burn calories. Some people don't.
Some people don't. Some people want to like gently and rhythmically walk around a dance floor, and that is great.
Some people want to dance in place.
Yeah.
Some people want to walk.
Yeah.
Some people want to dance on the floor. Some people want to dance in the air.
Some people do. Yeah.
Or you can do all of it.
You can do all of it, and like there are many options, and not all of them might feel good in your body, but one of them definitely will.
Yeah.
So if you don't like the first dance you try, don't write off dancing. It might be that the music doesn't resonate with your body. It may be that the kind of movement just doesn't work for your body either. There are plenty of other options out there. If you start one and you're like, this isn't for me, there are other choices out there, and there's a whole wide world of dances that range from big to small, fast to slow, syncopated to melodic, like runs the whole spectrum of a lot of spectrums.
It runs the gambit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you wrap up, do you have any final or last tips for people who are interested in dancing, whether it's practical or intellectual?
Listen to music and take lessons if you can afford to. And take sequential lessons if you can afford to, both in terms of time and money. Not all dances offer sequential lessons, but I think it is probably the single most helpful way to learn dance from an absolute beginner. And I would say also figure out what dance options are around for you, and then figure out which ones best match your motivations for dancing. So if you have the choice between Lindy Hop and Salsa, look at some YouTube videos about what both of those look like, and listen to some of the music for both of them, and then pick which one resonates more with you, because there are a lot of options out there. And if you're in a metropolis like LA, there are so many options out there. So yeah, do a little bit of research and watch what the dances look like at a high level and at a beginner level, and be okay walking away from the studio or the instructor that you start with. Like, there are all sorts of reasons why you may love it, and there are all sorts of reasons to walk away, and I would say try something new before you abandon it altogether.
And there are also ways to pay for classes or socials without sending and giving money physically. You can volunteer, you can use your time to work and have your dance fun and help the community or that host run the event, whether it's taking money at the door, setting up before or after dances, the floor monitor, filling up the water. So most dance scenes have those roles where they're volunteers or they're people who are working for their dance admission.
And even at dance studios, there are many that will take volunteers in exchange for classes. So if money is the roadblock, there are other ways around it.
So there's many ways to dance. Not always giving money.
Not always giving money.
And volunteering gets you ingrained in the community a little bit faster. Because you're learning about the logistics of a dance studio.
And people will see your face and recognize you week over week or month over month. So,
You're part of the show.
Oh, the other advice I would give to beginning dancers is, once you're sufficiently invested to get shoes, that will change how you dance, because shoes are a genuinely useful tool that connect you to the floor. And so if you are having issues also, there are all sorts of creative ways, whether you're dancing in your socks, whether you're putting a sock on over your shoe to get less friction, whether you get shoes or don't get shoes, just know that there is a relationship between you and the floor, and that will change your enjoyment and ability to execute on your dance.
So you don't need dance shoes as well.
You don't need dance shoes as well.
Different ways to dance.
You can. Some people will take an old pair of shoes and put duct tape on the bottom, so that they have a smoother surface with an old pair of shoes. The older the shoes, often the better, because it means that the treads have worn down. A lot of people dance in socks, and there are some dances for which heels are genuinely beneficial. Argentine tango is one of those if you're a follow, but by all means, they're not necessary. So if you're intimidated by a bunch of women in beautiful dresses wearing 3-inch heels, you don't necessarily have to do that.
But if that's your thing, go for it.
Go for it. Thanks, Jason.
Many different styles of footwear as well. So.
In fact, I have chosen dances based on whether or not I have to wear heels, and there's a reason why I do the dances that I do, in part so that I can protect my knees for the next 40 years.
Protect your body.
Baz, to end on can I end on my favorite Baz Luhrmann quote? My favorite Baz Luhrmann quote: "Be kind to your knees, you'll miss them when they're gone."
What a great quote.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Meredith, for your time, for your wisdom.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching Dance Brain, where we talk about the beauty of partner dancing. See you on the next episode.